Space, the final frontier. Boys' Toys, the final programme. This is the voyage of Starchaser and Steve Bennett. He started off building rockets like this, and now builds them like this. He is determined to put the first privately financed reusable rocket in space. Plus, there's your chance to win an out-of-this-world prize in this week's competition. Steve's story began small, but has literally taken off.
I first began to do practical stuff in rocketry when I was about 13. I was supplementing the chemicals I got in my chemistry set with more exotic chemicals, and I was making little batches of rocket propellant and getting little rockets to fly. And over the years it got bigger and better and more expensive. And then I guess it was 1992 when I said to the wife, I said, you know, I'm going to give up the day job and work on this full time. I'm going to build a bigger rocket. She said, well, what is it exactly you want to do? I said, well, I want to build a rocket that can carry me into space. And I don't know whether she thought I was nuts or whether she took out a big life insurance policy, but she said, yeah, go for it, you know, you just follow your dream. So I did, and this is where we are today.
Cape Canaveral it might not be, but this industrial estate in Hyde near Manchester is the home of a unique and exciting enterprise. Starchaser is a company built on the dreams of one man, but a company that also seeks to fulfil the dreams of many.
What we do basically here is we build rockets. Then we go out and we launch them. It's like an Aladdin's cave of rocket engine bits. I used to dream about places like this when I was a kid, but of course they didn't really exist. This whole thing started for me by watching too many episodes of Thunderbirds when I was a kid, and right about that time we had man landing on the moon, you know, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and that was all kicking off. And we all knew that there were going to be colonies on the moon within 20 years and that man would land on Mars in 1981, but it just didn't happen. So a few years ago I decided to do something about it and try and make it happen.
3, 2, 1, 0.
What we have here is the Churchill 2 engine. Now this kicks out about 3 tons of thrust, and this is the biggest liquid rocket engine to be fired in over 35 years since the British government cancelled the British space programme. So they kind of dropped the baton there and we've picked it up and we're moving with it. And we've tested this 9 times. It's been tested over here in the UK and in the States, and it's a tough little engine.
They've already launched a number of rockets, including Nova, the largest to take off from Britain. They haven't actually got into space yet, but Steve continues to think big.
This is the fin canister of a new rocket we're going to build. It's the same diameter as the fat bit of the Nova rocket over there, but it's much, much bigger. It's much longer. It's about 50% bigger, in fact. The rest of the airframe tubing for that rocket is standing right here. So if you can imagine the fins standing underneath that with this whole airframe tubing sticking on top of it, and then right at the very top is going to be our 3-man capsule. We're looking forward to testing that. That will be much bigger than the Nova rocket. It'll go much higher, it'll produce much more fire and smoke and noise. It's going to be pretty interesting.
There's no shortage of volunteer astronauts.
This is our little test chamber. We put our human guinea pigs in here, and we've tested some life support systems with it. So what we do is we put the people in. We've had up to 3 people in there, and we seal them in, and we feed them oxygen and take out the carbon dioxide and the moisture. And we've learnt a lot about life support systems. We've had 3 people in there for up to 2 hours, and we had one guy in there for about 7 hours in a spacesuit. Simply because he wanted to. But we learnt lots about environmental control life support systems, or ECLSs. Means that we can theoretically keep people alive for quite a time in our spacecraft. These weird shaped blue things are what we lie rockets down on.
Steve's assembled a team with the right stuff, experience and enthusiasm.
All you're going to do is produce a lot of turbulence.
The guys we've got here today, we've got some employees, we've got some part-time volunteers. They all share the same dream. They want to see these big rockets come together and fly. But we're doing something that nobody else is doing in Britain and that very few people in the world are actually doing. And we're taking these talented people, these highly motivated people, and we're creating something really special.
talented, motivated, and all sharing a dream of getting into space. Steve and his helpers are at the forefront of British rocket technology.
This is where we actually do analysis and we make the rockets basically on a computer. So for instance, I can actually see whether some of the parts are going to buckle or not, or how close they are from buckling. And then I can see as well animations of the movement that actually creates while some of the forces have been applying in the engine. I go to schools as well and then teach the kids about how to make rockets as well. So I see some of those kids and I ask them whether they want to go to the space, and they say yes. So by actually, working on this type of projects, it's going to allow me to make some of those kids' dreams come true.